Okay.
Hey, early birds, you get some special behind the scenes.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
No.
letting people know, those are listening, that this presentation will be recorded, uh, per the legalities as put by the convention. So that's what will be happening. And this way, those who are not able to attend will be able to get recording of this on our channel at a later time. Okay, shall we get started? Because I think everyone who wants to be here is here on time. All right. Mivi, would you like to begin our presentation?
Oh, great. Okay, just let me double check. Okay, there we go. The control's connected now. Awesome. Alrighty. Without further ado, let us begin. Hi guys, thank you all for coming to the Voltron Legendary Defander panel. It's a fan animation project hosted by the People's Press Project. And if the name sounds familiar, chances are you may have seen us on your Twitter page at some point, like your Twitter timeline. Or maybe you even took the chance to peek in and be like, oh, this looks cool, I wonder if something will come out, and then peek back out. Well, here we are. Something is coming out of this. And we're going to tell you what. In this presentation, we're going to go over who we are, what the project's about, our goals, and the ways you guys here today can help us. And so, let us introduce ourselves, some of the team members on this presentation, once it loads. The lag time is insane.
We appreciate any of your patience.
Yes.
My name is Nemo Cicados. I am the project leader of the VLDEFANDER project and a People's Press Project ambassador to the nonprofit. My pronouns are he, they.
Hiya, I'm Valex, otherwise known as Pyroclass 17. I am a character designer, storyboarder, and revisionist, and my pronouns are they, them.
Hi, my name is Ale. I'm an artist and I like food and dogs and also reading a lot of fanfic because I have no hope. My pronouns are she, her.
And I am Mivi. I'm a storyboarder and story writer for the project. My pronouns are she, her. At the end of this presentation, we'll do our best to answer any and all questions related to this project. And if you're anything like me, you'll probably forget the questions if you don't write them down. So feel free to either keep track of that on your notes, on a separate sheet of paper, or you can even send some questions in the chat, but most likely I won't get to that until a little later. Just hold on to them though, and we will answer as many as we can. Now, who we are. Okay, the People's Press Project is a 501c3 nonprofit seeking to educate and put the power of media in consumers' own hands to promote media literacy and creation of their own content to control the narrative of stories they wish to tell, which includes fan-made animations through Finding Me Studios. So basically, it's basically a make your own cake. You weren't satisfied with something, you want to do it with your own hands? There you go. You now have the opportunity to do so. And it's through this that it's allowing us to even make this project, because I'm sure most, if not all of us, felt different levels of hurt, pain, just like confusion after season 8. And so this project, VLDEFANDER, was born out of that need for the representation that kind of feels like it was either pushed aside or just taken, yeah. So it was a televersion of a story that the volunteer creators wanted to see, hear, and share with all of you guys, because that was just a train wreck and none of us were satisfied, so. Alright. What's the plan? Nemo's gonna go into that.
So what our plan is this. In order to get started, we wanted to follow as closely as possible the industry standards with minimized costs, good treatment of our volunteers, and without censorship. That is pretty typical of the industry. Step 1, fundraising is going to be needed to improve the quality of our work. Our goal for the completion of episode 1 is $6,000, of which we have raised $1,500. So far, we've been pretty resourceful and frugal without sacrificing the quality of our story. Step 2 is following the advice learned at animation and writing workshops, sharing our new knowledge with one another, implementing it, in which we can assist us in helping us go back to our rough drafts to improve them to the highest standard. Step 3 is we are going to be in the works of creating a radio play for musicians to watch and consult with us to capture the feel of the show while being a unique collaborative fan work. When all these stages are closer to completion, we'll be planning a release date for episode 1. Here's our project timeline. Given that animation takes a lot of time and energy for our volunteers, and I want to be realistic with our audience and be transparent about it, to expect that this is going to take a while to be completed. In our first year for research and fundraising, we raised that $1.5 thousand to start the project and purchase equipment and educational materials. In writing, we had 5 episodes drafted, 2 of them were finalized. In the animation area, we began storyboarding immediately when episode 1 was finalized. Last year, in our second year, we were going to online workshops to improve skill sets and gain knowledge. We started opening the voice cast auditions, and now we have a voice cast. For writing, we had 1 more episode drafted, 3 are currently finalized in that time, and in animation, we were halfway through the rough storyboarding of episode 1. We are now in year 3 of this project. We have begun looking for musicians and have acquired a few so that we can share our boards with them. And with writing, we have a total of 5 episodes written. And for animation, we're beginning revisions, layouts, and backgrounds as of this presentation. Our goals for the future for year 4 is workshops into keyframes, in-betweens, and sound design for research. Then for writing, we want to have a total of 6 to 7 episodes written. We want 5 of them to be finalized. For animation, we want episode 1 to be undergoing those layouts, the backgrounds, and the key animation, with episode 2 beginning storyboards. In year 5, we want to be able to have reached our 50% goal of $6,000 for that $3,000 to get that episode 1 done. For writing, we want to have a total of 7 to 8 episodes written, with 6 of them finalized. And with the animation, we want to begin those episode 1 keyframes and in-betweens with revisions of episode 2 and rough thumbnails for episode 3. What we hope to accomplish is that we want people to have the interest in learning. Learning is always ongoing, but we hope that the learning never stops for this project or others that are inspired by it. The education experience that you will get here, with resources provided by the People's Press Project, volunteers will learn about the industry, the pipeline, and the potential career path that they'd like to take. With foundation and application of these skills, when you people are given resources and opportunities, I feel like you're going to be able to take these new skills and then practice them for your own works, your projects, and, of course, employment. So with the employment and creation of the future, a few volunteers I already know have begun being hired in the industry while participating in this project, or they have started to have their own ideas for what they want to do with this newfound power they have. Ale, could you please tell us about what opportunities you have been given thanks to this project?
Hey, so hi, my name is Ale. When I started project, I was just I was just doing small, tiny projects, but I think like the very cool thing is that working like in a group and things that are not like within your comfort zone just like really push you to do different stuff. Taking like some of those skills, like I had no freaking idea of how to draw armor before I did this, but it really pushed me, and I think like getting and giving critique, it helped me a lot, like building my skills. I'm now teaching at an art school, which is kind of insane, and also currently working in the Peruvian animation industry. So yeah, I was just really thankful because this project really felt like it helps really close to what we do at the job. Obviously, like at our job, it's way more fast paced, but it's basically the same. It's like the same, similar pipeline, similar process, similar everything. So I think that was really cool to like help me prepare for that. And yeah, I think that's pretty much what I want to say. Oh, also that thanks to that, after I started that job, I basically went back and said like, hey guys, this is something that we haven't thought before, and I know it got us nightmares at the studio, so this is something I think we should do. and guess what? It worked. So this was great. Yeah, thanks, Nemo.
Sure thing, Ale. So, with that, I'd like to hand this over to Elba. How will we do this, Elba? Tell us.
I'll tell you how. Okay. Hi, folks. So, how are we doing this? Ale touched on it a little bit there. A lot of sharing, a lot of kind of sharing. What do you call it? Affordable software. No, that's not part of it. Just accessible stuff. So let me read my notes because I'm mumbling a little bit. So free and affordable software is a big one. Stuff that we can use for animation and art design, like CSP, Clip Studio Paint. I mean, Photoshop, OpenTunes, Blender. What we're doing in those cases is for like CSP does these brilliant like 50% off sales every now and again. So we're like, we can get a couple of them for some people if they need them. Some people already have Photoshop, so they can do certain jobs and they can pass on the rest of it to people in Studio Paint. And just having access to programs is a really big part of this. The other part is we're going to do this through Google Docs and OpenOffice. So that's a huge one for the writers in particular. It's being used so that they can work on the same file all at the same time and generally share files for the project. And they can all do the same drafts, the same. It's brilliant. It's deadly. I've read a lot of them through there, and it's so handy. Storyboarder is obviously where we do the storyboards. We export them as PDFs for the writers and musicians to read with ease. And anything else that really works for us. In terms of programs, like, we know what the industry standard is, but we're here for accessibility, which is the next slide. So if you wouldn't mind going on to that, that'd be fab if it wants to load. Oh my god, this is actually doing it quite quickly, isn't it? So on that note, we are basically trying to make the animation industry more accessible for folks in minorities and marginalized communities. So getting into the industry can throw obstacles in the way of people from different walks of life who might have fewer opportunities. So we're trying to get people signed up for workshops that provide specialist knowledge. Particularly, I myself have done a set of storyboarding workshops. I know quite a few of us in the group actually went to Lightbox Expo and got our tickets paid for. That was deadly. I was able to take the information that I learned from these things and that I gathered and just share them with everybody in, again, Google Docs. It's super handy. And everybody has access to information that maybe they wouldn't be able to go to college for. You know, it's that kind of vibe. Can we have the next slide?
Mm-hmm.
So what does it all mean? VLD was made by Studio Mirror and DreamWorks, obviously, as we all know. And we obviously all have so much respect for it. Obviously, we wouldn't be here, 4 years after it finished, if we didn't love it. But Season 8 was an absolute car crash. It was a mess. So we're left wondering what happened. But at the same time, with VLDEFANDER, what we're kind of thinking is like, we can do this ourselves. We can create the animation that we wanted from the beginning, and we can have it representative of its audience, and it can be a really beautiful thing if we do it ourselves. So that's what we're going for. Oh yeah, we have a little video to show you guys, so sit back, relax, and yeah.
So now that that's done, let me switch back over to the presentation. Due to the technical difficulties in recording, we were unable to record the convention's Q&A section of the panel. However, we hope you can forgive this inconvenience due to the fact that this was the end of the panel presentation. Questions that were asked and their answers for the most part are and still as follows. Ursay Minoris asks, "This project is so cool. You guys are amazing. What time zones are you operating in? Do you need creature designers?" To answer this question, thank you so much. Yes, since we're working with everyone that is available, as Mivy had said at the time, it's all time zones. Since it's volunteer work, it is as your life and paid work life permits, and as long as you have the passion for the project. But your work can't show up if you don't show up. We do our best to meet with everyone and for everyone to meet so that everyone will be on the same page. And yes, we definitely need creature designers. Next, Owen, aka Shadow Keith, asks, I don't know if this was mentioned already because I showed up late to the panel, but suppose you would like to participate, what's the window to apply? Like, how long are applications open? Could you join in 3 months, a year, 2 years in? To answer this question, the window is for the most part very open. Since people will likely be focused on their jobs in real life, I expect folks to be in and out of the project, making it difficult and even building resentment if people that are ready to move on to bigger and better opportunities are forced to stay, and those who feel like they've missed out on this opportunity don't get the chance to go on this adventure with us and become part of our story. Next, White Wolf asks, I have a question. How did the team decide on what was the satisfactory alternate ending story? The answer to this is, as of this time, there is no ending to the story, but we are working toward it as time goes on. For now, we are focusing our energies on completing the first episode. Next, Urse Minoris asks, is it hard to agree on what you want for the story? Thankfully, it has not been terribly difficult for us to come to an agreement, but there are methods to coming to a resolution for the good of the story, the project's goals, and a writer's intention. Next, White Wolf asks, so was there a main writer and then people got to give feedback or vote? The answer to this is, there are main writers, 2 per episode, to follow the format of canon episodes, and they all have creative power on their episode, with other writers able to put in their 2 cents, and the main writer team for an episode can either use, transform the suggested plot thread, or reject it entirely at the end of it. Next, Lost Lenore asks, I don't have any creative skills and I'm very non-tech savvy. Can I still help? Yes. Volunteers are appreciated for shadow work to follow those with creative skills so that people without them can gain them, and workshops to further one's education in a desired skill set. If learning skills is not of your interest, then spreading the word about the project and donating is very helpful for others to know about it and to continue supporting the nonprofit work. Next, Urse Minoris asks, how much time commitment should someone expect if they join? Like a weekly meeting, I noted. The answer is, I would only ask for up to 4 hours per week for volunteers to do some work and to check in if they miss out on the meetings that are usually up to an hour in a week or bi-monthly. Finally, M. Wing asks, are you hiring the original voice actors? The answer to this is, we are not, as disappointing as that sounds. It is for the safety of the organization, the volunteers, as well as the voice actors themselves, as nonprofit work is not exactly a paid position, and we would not like to put the original voice actors in any uncomfortable position. We appreciate their work in the canon Voltron Legendary Defender, and all we can ask of them is their support for our fan work that is inspired by their work in the show and staff at Studio Mir. This concludes the Q&A for this panel. Subscribe to this channel for updates, and feel free to leave a comment below this video and at the contact information listed in our link tree at the QR code. Thank you for watching.